This is Business Decoded podcast with Ronnie Spellman. An informal chats with top business moguls as they share their stories of failure and success in a fun and relaxed way. Get entertained, educated, and unlock the secrets to success.
Welcome to Business Decoded with Ronnie Spellman. We're back with Monica Paul, the Executive Director of the Dallas Sports Commission. And last time we spoke, you gave us so much insight around the business of sports. And we hinted briefly, or discussed briefly, the World Cup that's coming to Texas in 2026. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
I'd love to learn more about the World Cup. How did you pull that off, first of all? What was the magic behind getting the World Cup to Texas?
Well, first off, it's a team effort. I mean, when you have partners like AT&T Stadium and the Dallas Cowboys and Dan Hunt and what the Hunt family means to sport and soccer in itself, and his FC Dallas team, a lot of city managers, community leadership, North Central Texas Council of Governments, and our transportation planning, our airports. We really just had a great team kind of going into it. This was a very different bid than any bid that we've ever had to put in, because actually when you're putting your best self forward, you're trying to get your country to host, to be named the host country. Absolutely. And in this case, we were working with the United Bid Committee, which was comprised of U.S. Soccer, Canadian Soccer Federation, and Mexican Soccer Federation. So that was really the very first step. For me, when you look at our infrastructure, and AT&T Stadium obviously was the one. We put AT&T Stadium in Cotton Bowl, but AT&T Stadium was the one that was really highlighted from the very beginning. When you have a stadium like that and already has hosted many, many major events, and you put our central location and our hotel infrastructure, our training facilities, which a lot of people don't realize the number of just extraordinary training facilities that we have here for teams on a regular basis. The cost of doing business alone, our volunteer base, our corporate base was something that really struck home, I think, for FIFA. It was a winning combination, but this was the longest bid process I think I've been a part of. I can tell you that.
Well, it's worth noting that Texas has the largest number of Fortune 500 companies in the country. They're the second largest economy, only behind California in the United States, the eighth largest economy in the world. It makes sense that Texas would be at the top of the list. And is this our first, or did we have it beforehand here in Texas as well?
1994, Dallas hosted 6 matches at Cotton Bowl Stadium and was the host of the International Broadcast Center. So now we're hosting 9 matches at AT&T Stadium, but we're also going to be the host of the International Broadcast Center.
That is incredible. I've been to the Cotton Bowl I've been to that property for the State Fair, and that's where UT and Oklahoma plays, right? Their game every year. It's an outdoor facility, and it's been around for a while, but it's a great complex.
Oh, yes, without a doubt. And it will be heavily used during the World Cup in 2026. So Cotton Bowl Stadium is actually a venue-specific training site for Cotton Bowl and SMU will be the 2 facilities that the teams that are playing at AT&T Stadium, where they practice the day before their matches. In addition, out at Fair Park, we'll have our volunteer center, which is where all the volunteers will come for interviews and recruitment, and that'll be open from November of 2025 all the way through July of 2026. And then our FIFA Fan Festival will be taking place out at Fair Park. So a lot of people think State Fair is not going to be the size of the State Fair of Texas, but we're going to be anticipating being open at least 39 straight days. So every match will be broadcast out at that fan festival.
So you mentioned that not to go off of the soccer, but the State Fair of Texas is massive, right? I've been quite a few years. They've had some of the best known artists around the globe come to the State Fair of Texas to perform, but it's huge. I think it's the largest state fair in the world, if I'm not correct. It's definitely up there at the top, but it's huge.
Absolutely huge. They can have 2.5–3 million people come through the state fair every year. Obviously, Red River rivalry with Texas and OU is a staple, a big part of our DNA here in the Dallas area. But Then they have the State Fair Classic with Grambling versus Prairie View.
Right.
This is a big anniversary year for them. This year, they're going to add a Dallas Trinity FC women's soccer match out there. A lot of people take part of the State Fair.
So walk us through the dates and numbers. So, and when I say numbers, just how many? There's a lot of media coming. The number of expected attendees and just the number of people that will be a part of the area coming from around the globe. But first, walk us through the dates for the World Cup.
Sure. World Cup starts June 11th, and the final is July 19th over in New York and New Jersey. Our footprint here in Dallas is June 14th is our first match, and our semifinal match is July 14th. So we've got a good 31-day window that for competition here.
And so what impact does that have? How many guests are you expecting? And the media start, from my understanding, a lot of the teams come early before the games, and they'll be here for maybe a few months, and then the media comes early, and it's just, oh my gosh, walk us through the production. It seems massive.
This may take a bit, but I'll get through it all. We've got, you mentioned teams being able to arrive early. So we have 6 base camp locations here. We won't necessarily know if they're going to be utilized until March of 2026, but a base camp is basically we have 4 universities throughout the Metroplex, and then Toyota Stadium and Mansfield Stadium, which is a new facility being built. And a team may come in 5, 10, 15 days prior to a World Cup, and this is where they train. They then go to their hotel, come back the next day, train, and they live here, basically. And then when their first match is in Kansas City, they'll fly to Kansas City the day before, do their match, and then they'll fly right back to the base camp. So this is a full another layer, an opportunity from an economic impact standpoint, and really opportunity, whether it's in Frisco or Denton or Fort Worth or Irving or Dallas or Mansfield, for those communities to really wrap their arms around the team and those media fans that may and players that'll be coming to those base camps. The other big layer that is very important to us is the International Broadcast Center. And they start building out the Broadcast Center in January 2026. It becomes a full 24/7 operation around May 25th, 26th time period, where you're going to have maybe 2,500 broadcasters that just stay in that broadcast center, and every match there's
2,500 from around the world.
All around the world. They'll have their own little studios within the broadcast center.
Nice.
And all 104 matches of the World Cup will be broadcast, and that feed will come directly out of the K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center. So we feel like that's another great opportunity to get in front of those media, provide them with all the reasons why we love DFW, why we live here. The little secret, here's the best margarita, here's the best Tex-Mex, whatever it may be, provide that to them so that one, they can experience it, maybe bring their families and others, but they can talk about it in their broadcast as well. So that's another unique opportunity for us. But this will be the largest World Cup to date. When we started bidding on this, it was anticipated in having 80 matches and 32 teams. This World Cup will have 48 teams and 104 matches. That projection, back in 2017, when we started bidding on this, the projection of economic impact was about $400 million. Our projection now, from a study that FIFA did with Deloitte just here in Dallas, the projection is $1.5 to $2.1 billion.
Oh my gosh.
So by far the largest event that we will see here.
That is an incredible contribution to the local economy. How do you get your entrepreneurs, your business owners ready? So restaurants, hotels, how do you make sure that they're ready and understand the full impact? Are you traveling around the region, just giving them the numbers and the updates and helping to make sure that they're prepared?
Yes, we have an entire staff at the North Texas FIFA World Cup organizing committee. So I have an entire team dedicated to the World Cup and various working groups that we're trying to work across the region. So it's not just Dallas, not just Arlington. It is everyone working together. A lot of training sessions. FIFA has their staff that are in each host city or starting to be built out. we're able to share some of this historical knowledge from past World Cups with our hotel community. What should you be prepared for that may be a little bit different than any other sporting event or any other conference that we typically host here? This is a large number of international spectators and guests that are going to be with us. This is 39 straight days, so we're not talking about just a week that maybe other sporting events' pattern looks like a little bit. So we've got groups from a human rights, sustainability, human trafficking, looking at homelessness solutions as well. We know that once the draw takes place in December, we'll know the teams that are here. So looking at, what type of customs or cultural experiences, different restaurants, to make sure that if there's a specific food that one country may be more interested in over the other, language services, translation services, those types of things. So it's pretty extensive in terms of our planning efforts and how to best get our hospitality community engaged and aware of what's coming forth.
And that's fascinating. You reminded me, a couple of years ago, I went to an event hosted by one of the chambers of commerce, and they were meeting with the president of a theme park that was looking to move to this market. And what was neat about it, they had several hundred businesses, local business owners and operators, that came to the meeting to find out how their business can participate in the ramp up of this facility. And so what was fascinating to hear was the variety of different services they need, from catering services to lawn services. It was pretty broad. Tell us the breadth of services. You mentioned translation services. So I presume for a local translating company, that could be an opportunity. But tell us about the diversity of businesses that might be needed.
Yeah, so we're working with FIFA and a lot of their agencies, vendors that they have chosen to see what are the scope of your needs and what RFPs are you going to be sending out. And then we layer in those that here locally from an organizing committee that we may need. We've created what's called a North Texas Business Connect program, where businesses, whether it's floral, catering, staffing, equipment, technology, electrical services, HVAC, I mean, it can go on. Transportation, the list can go on and on and on. What you need to be able to put on a major event like this, where they can go and register, and there's code of conduct, sustainability practices, and procurement practices that FIFA has that we as an organizing committee also have to adhere to. But we can go ahead and get some of those companies vetted so that we know when we get those RFPs, you are already positioned or ahead of the game a little bit. To be able to bid on these and get that RFP information. So we're really trying as best as we can to try to keep as much business here locally. And I think each host city is doing that. We obviously know that FIFA has 16 host cities, and there may be some national contracts that are there that makes perfect business sense for them. As we get that information, we're trying to get that out to the community.
And you bring up a point. At that meeting that I just described, one of the most important questions that I heard the small local businesses ask is, do we really have a shot at getting the business, giving some of these other bigger companies around the globe that could provide similar services? And the response was absolutely. They mentioned this particular group. They mentioned our goal is to support the local community. You are a partner. You are a friend. You're part of our families. We're moving in to this new market, but you are part of the infrastructure for this community. So it sounds like the same.
Yes, and it's not just FIFA. It's they're all of their commercial partners and affiliates are planning activations in all of the host cities as well. So. Well, a lot of people want us to have all the information right now. It's going to be, later end of this year, beginning of 2026, where we may have a little bit more information on what exactly are the RFP needs. We're still, building out FanFest diagrams and locations and transportation protocols and that sort of thing. So some of the equipment side of things, or even catering, we may be a little early to be asking some of those questions, but our intent is try to keep as much local as we possibly can.
And you mentioned from a hiring perspective and volunteers, you need both, right?
Yes. So FIFA, we actually, between FIFA and our organizing committee, need 5,500 volunteers that will need to work a minimum of 9 shifts. FIFA and some of their commercial partners, whether it's on location or beyond, or there's kind of a list of others of the events that they're planning. They'll be hiring staff as well. So we kind of need a mix of actually workers, but then also our volunteer platform to really take off. And with the volunteer center opening, November here this month, then it's going to be open all the way through July of 2026. So one of the largest probably volunteer programs that we've put on.
Largest volunteer programs. So beginning in January 1, what does the ramp up look like from that point? Like I know things will start to move really fast as you prepare for the media to come, the teams to start scoping out. You mentioned you have the drawing of the teams in December. What does that January 1 look like for you and the team?
Podcasts are so popular, even monkeys are doing it.
75% of Americans listen to podcasts monthly. That's 210 million people in the United States alone. And yes, podcasts are profitable. Joe Rogan is making $30 million per year. Your content, your knowledge is worth sharing. Don't just dream it, do it. Visit andycostafilms.com/podcast and turn your content into leads.
Yeah, I think January, what we're hearing, once that draw takes place, then we should be anticipating a lot of the kind of scouting teams, I call them, to come visit us here in the Metroplex to take a look at whether it's the training venue so they can make decisions on their base camp locations. I think we'll have tour operators and other, groups that want to come because they know where their team is going to be now. Okay. They can make some of their hotel reservations. They can make the transportation and flight, needs.
Yes.
Each of our local cities can then narrow down in terms of the different restaurants and food stuff and what types of translation and direction, services, concierge services, hospitality services that we need for those base camp teams. But then we can also start planning, what does that match schedule look like? So that also kicks into gear our safety and security teams. They've already been working for 2 years, but different teams have different travel, number of spectators, passion of the different team spectators come into play.
Right.
And, maybe they have some customs that we're aware of. So a lot of planning will kick off in January.
Well, and you mentioned, I often think about it from what I do in some of the events that I work with, but the safety and security piece for that volume of people, I presume, is a huge portion of the
we've
responsibility.
got 18 different focus groups and expert planning teams across the region, working with our federal government as well.
Okay.
State agencies as well. So DHS and our forces up in Austin layer down into all of our local jurisdictions as well. A lot of lessons learned has taken place from last year's Copa America to the Club World Cup that took place earlier this year. And, we've hosted a lot of major events, but you can't just say, just because we've hosted the Super Bowl before, it's going to be exactly the same. And it's not.
I know 39 days straight.
Yeah, and you're looking 39 days straight. Yeah. So how do you make sure that you have enough staff, keep them fresh, make sure that people are getting some time off as needed, but then helping one another out, different jurisdictions and police departments and your like fire and medical. We are in June, and July when this World Cup takes place. We know our temperatures tend to increase during that time. So how do we make sure that there's not that fatigue that we have to deal with? So it really engaging our medical community to make sure we're properly planned there.
I know you think something as basic as a hydration station, like those are important.
Yes,
from
cooling
logistics.
stations. I had lots of discussions over this last week about cooling stations. There's some medical mobile op units that have air conditioning and where, even, bomb dogs or just people normally maybe sitting in a car, waiting to go back out and direct traffic. What are the things that we can do for them so that, we don't incur any additional issues there?
Right. That's amazing. So just that alone for me, how do you get any sleep? I know it's a lot to think about and plan.
It is. It is something that I tend to have a little high anxiety knowing that the World Cup is right around the corner. I been working on it for so long that you always think, okay, well, that's going to be in 2 years. That's going to be in 3 years. No, it's in 6 months, less than 6 months, maybe, in terms of when some of our stuff here kick off. But we've got a great team. There are a lot of working groups and volunteers on those working groups that step up. Yeah. Everybody's excited about the World Cup. We all want it to shine, but we also want to make sure that, hey, all of our guests that are coming in are safe, secure, and our residents are too, and that they have a positive experience about this World Cup.
So I'm on your volunteer list, and I'm on your newsletter updates list. How does someone, two pieces, how does the person who wants to be involved stay connected with you? And then on the other side, how does a company that might want to do business become involved so they can get the updates and attend the meetings that you might have and make sure they're in that group, that bucket to learn about the RFPs that are coming up?
Yes, absolutely. Well, a lot of this is on our website at DallasFWC26.com. We will continue to build those opportunities out. So any RFPs that we get from a business standpoint related to World Cup, those are automatically posted. If people want to register for our North Texas Business Connect program, they're able to go do that and continue through the process right now. Our newsletters go out on a monthly basis. We also have e-blast of important stuff that need to go out. Our social media channels are very active and will continue to be as we get more information there, but you can always reach out to info@DallasFWC26.com. We can add you to any newsletter, any communication. Our working groups are posted on the website. If somebody wants to be a part of one of those, we will connect you to the appropriate working group so you're getting that information. And then those corporations and businesses that may want to be involved, we have the opportunity to have 10 host city supporters. We've announced many, well, not all 10, but we've announced some. So we have some slots still remaining that really give you the opportunity to, whether it's tickets and hospitality, media operation opportunities, ability to activate at FanFest, out at Fair Park. Really opportunities to engage on a legacy and community standpoint as well. That's a very...
So those are sponsorship opportunities?
Those are sponsorship opportunities. Fantastic. We can have 10 of those. And then we also have a donor program. So there are certain corporations and partners that are going to have conflict with FIFA's commercial partners that won't be able to be our host city supporters. But we know a lot that want to invest in this community and ensure that we have a great legacy after this World Cup is over. And that can take a lot of different ways. Sustainability programming, human rights programming, soccer in underserved areas. We want to put up mini pitches, full-size pitches, and that sort of thing. So those corporations that want to invest on their CSR side, or even individuals from a philanthropic standpoint, we have an entire donor program and assets that go along with this, because the way we've built this out, it's not just about the 39 days. We are trying to, what is this entire road to the World Cup, the whole full lead up of it, as well as what does that look like afterwards? And, part of the afterwards is the opportunity to host a Women's World Cup and continue to grow. Not only the men's game and the youth side of things, but how do we grow on the women's side? Because there's an opportunity that, see if we can host the Women's World Cup in 2031.
So slightly different note, but you made me think, have you been to the F1 in Austin yet?
I have not.
We need to have one up here. I just want to put a bug out.
Are you putting more work on my to-do list?
But I hear it's such a great event, and I hadn't gone yet. It's on my calendar to make it. But some of the other sporting events, the NASCAR and the F1 and the motorcycle racing, it's just exciting.
Well, there's some IndyCar out in Arlington this March, I believe. So I may look to take that one in. I think there's hope that becomes a annual opportunity out for the city of Arlington around AT&T Stadium and Globe Life.
And many years ago when I was younger, the Tour de France is a lot of fun, but the Tour de Pont that used to go through the United States was so much fun to join as well. I don't know if you remember those days.
I remember them a little bit. I have to refresh my mind on some of that.
But so much fun. I love the sports. Social media, you brought that up. What does social media look like for you? Social media has changed so much just in the past 10 years. How do you manage that on an international basis?
Yes, that is something that we're putting a lot of strategy into, especially once the draw takes place in December.
Right.
Of how can we reach out to those specific countries and maybe the specific ones to say, hey, here are the special things to do in the DFW area. Here's why you want to make sure that you're here to see your matches, your team's matches here in Dallas, knowing that there are other cities that they'll be having matches in as well. But strategically working across the various working groups. So incorporating all of the cities, Convention and Visitors Bureau and CBB's economic development in there. Our professional teams sit on that working group. We know they have a large reach and marketing focus as well. So really trying to be active in our sports world. So also taking advantage of the international soccer events that we do and have hosted before and the relationships that we have.
So I know we're near the end of this program, but I think about the World Cup a lot, being located in Dallas, and I speak to a lot of business people that know it's coming and people who love soccer that know it's coming. But why is this so? When you look at the World Cup coming to Texas, coming to Dallas, coming to the United States this year or 2026, why is it important? Like, what does it mean for Dallas and Texas and the United States? Why is it important to have?
Yeah, I mean, we look at it from three different pillars, I think. One, the economic impact, which we've already mentioned. That's one of the main reasons that we host a bid to host events, and there's not one larger than this or one that we're going to see. I'm sure FIFA will expand down the road, and there will be one the next time it was here. I mean, 1994 still holds records. But one of the main things for us from a Dallas standpoint is really elevating that global profile of the city and the region. A lot of people still think of maybe J.R. Ewing and, I think maybe some of the international think that when they come here, we're going to all have cowboy hats, boots, and maybe ride horses. I'm not sure. But that's not necessarily bad, the cowboy, the Western side of things. I think we want to expand and educate what the DFW region is. Have the metropolitan side, but then also have the Western culture and everything in between. I think it's important for us to continue to raise that global profile in Dallas to really be considered a global destination. There's opportunity to move headquarters of companies here, or when they're at least throw us in the mix and consider and be open to having the conversation. Obviously, the additional tourism piece for me, the ability to be in the discussions to hope additional international sporting events. And then our third pillar really is the legacy. And in any major event that we do, I think legacy is important. Out of 1994, the MLS was created. So we're really trying to look at what is this legacy long term, because these types of events come around every 30 years.
In Dallas, games are bigger, matches are louder, and championships are sweeter. From high-stakes tournaments to showdowns to rivalries, we celebrate every win. Behind the scenes, the Dallas Sports Commission drives our sports success, booking major events and supporting our community. With every goal, touchdown, or cheer, it's hard not to win in Dallas. Stay up to date on the #1 city for sports business. Visit dallassports.org.
Agreed. I must say, having moved here to Texas, and I was on the phone the other day with a good friend in Australia. And I think the perception that you describe us riding horses to work every day, there's still some of that left. But I can say that Dallas is one of the most sophisticated communities in the world. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. And then you look at the opportunities to have events and the culture from a restaurant perspective. You have Katy Trail. I went to the Katy Trail for the first time not long ago. The White Rock Trail, which is just miles and miles of trail, a lot of lakes. My daughter's been hanging out at the beach. She grew up in Southern California, but she's been spending time at the beach here in Texas, which people might not realize exist on these lakes. But there's so much to do in Texas.
I think that's gonna be one of the things that shocks or surprises maybe a lot of our international visitors, of their anticipation of what they're really going to experience here. And we have everything. You mentioned the restaurants, the things to do, the people. I think they're going to feel a Texas hospitality that they might not feel in other cities or other areas within the world. So I think their version coming into Dallas is going to be a little bit different of what they realize when they leave.
And you look on the sporting side, you have the Dallas Mavericks, which is just fun to go and watch at the American Airlines Center. And you have the FC Dallas, which is a professional team, and I've been to a couple of their games. And you have minor league baseball in Frisco, and then you have Major League Baseball with the Rangers. There is so much in Dallas.
Yes, and these international guests, the MLB will be playing during the World Cup. There won't be a Rangers game on the same day that we're hosting a World Cup match here, but those international visitors are going to get the opportunity to go to a Rangers game or maybe a different, professional sporting event while they're here. But
then the PGA facility in the area as well, that's new, incredible.
National Soccer Hall of Fame as well. Being a World Cup event, I think it would be a huge miss if a lot of our spectators and fans coming in didn't make it up there just to kind of see what they have done there and what they've created. And they can spend a day in Fort Worth at the Stockyards, then spend a day downtown exploring Dallas and head out to Grapevine. And there's just so many different facets,
Even
I think.
The National Medal of Honor Museum now is open in Arlington.
Exactly. Arlington Entertainment District, just a lot of different options. So I think they say international visitor coming in typically spends about 9.7 days in the United States for a World Cup. And if we can capture at least half of those here, we have 9 matches. So they have the greatest opportunity to see maybe more matches without having to travel around. So we're hoping to be able to communicate that and take advantage of that.
Well, that's a lot. It's Monica, it's been an honor to have you on the program again. Thank you for all of your hard work and all the coordination and the collaboration that has to occur in order to make a $1.5 billion plus event happen in Dallas.
Thank you very much.
It's a lot of work.
Yes, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Well, I can't wait to see the matches and be a part of the experience.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Business Decoded with Ronnie Spellman.
Thank you for listening to Business Decoded podcast with Ronnie Spellman. Please be sure to subscribe and share and stay tuned for more incredible Business Decoded episodes.